everyone, surprise! It's a 2-for-1 this week. That's right. I saw 2 movies to make up for the previous couple weeks where I didn't see any, with the exception of, well, Resident Evil Afterlife in 3D. But, I didn't really feel the need to warrant it a review because it was the first Resident Evil movie I've seen since the first one that came out so long ago. I thought it was, well, put it this way, it was entertaining in several parts, but it was not worth the price for 3D at all, the extra price, the $8 ticket or whatever it was. And most of the action scenes were in slow motion. I bet if they were run in real time, it would have been only an hour long. I'm not even kidding. Why am I talking about this? Well, consider this a mini review, I suppose, I guess. But now it's on to the main course. Yesterday I went to see The Town with my brother, and I like bringing him along to get a different opinion on some of the movies I see, and actually he fills in quite well on a lot of the parts that I didn't understand, and my excuse for that is I'm usually dead tired by the time I get to see a movie. And I usually see movies very early on in the morning, and most of the time it's the first showing because, I work nights, so that kind of sucks and eats into a lot of my daytime. And it's only $5 a ticket for seeing shows in the morning. So, how is The Town? Well, my brother and I do agree on this one, and we thought it was freaking awesome. This was exactly what I wanted out of Takers, and when you compare the two, this one is far superior. And that's, well, I wouldn't say that it's anything against Takers. Maybe it is, but this one just does it a lot better. And let me just say, holy crap, Ben Affleck is a darn good director. Let me just put that out right there. The other movie he did, Gone Baby Gone, I don't know if a lot of people saw that. It has his brother Casey Affleck in it, and I believe it's Michelle Monaghan alongside. I'm not sure. I love that movie as well. And Affleck's definitely got a future ahead of him in the directing field. Do I like him as an actor? Well, yeah, I guess I would say I do. For one thing, Changing Lanes is one of my favorite movies of all time, and probably one of his best roles. But aside from that, I think he gets a lot of flack that probably he doesn't deserve regarding his acting ability. I mean, I know Family Guy, one of the few ones I've seen made fun of him. Actually, I wikied one of his, or I just wikied Ben Affleck and came up with some Golden Raspberry Award as the worst actor, and I was like, what, really? And he actually got it for several movies in a row, so I know he gets a lot of flack for that, but I don't know, I think he can act. But I digress. On with the review. Now, The Town takes place in the town, I guess, Charlestown, Boston's neighbor, self-proclaimed bank robbery capital of the world, or of the United States, rather, not the world. We don't know about Nigeria, or whatever. Here we see Ben Affleck as Doug McRae, alongside Jeremy Renner, who plays Jim Coughlin, who is kind of like, he's kind of like a brother figure to Doug, I guess. I wouldn't really consider them like brothers. I mean, I think we get that they grew up together, but I don't know. So we got Doug and Jim and a few other gang members, and they start robbing banks. And even donning some nice Halloween costumes of skeletons with dreadlocks. Ooh. And one of the managers of the bank, Claire, played by Rebecca Hamm, opens the safe at gunpoint, and the criminals get to work. Unknowingly to the crew, she activates an alarm, which alerts the cops. Surprise. Unfortunately for her, it shows up on the computer screen, and she gets taken hostage in case things get heavy for the criminals. Eventually, she is freed, but not before having suffered an emotional roller coaster ride that haunts her everyday life. And the way the stage is set is pretty brilliant. And we know who the bad guys are. We know who the victim is. We know who the good guys are. I mean, that's simple. We get a nice foreshadowing that one day Jeremy Renner's character is going to lose it as he basically beats a bank employee half to death with the butt of his gun, stating something about how next time Skeletor robs a bank, he shouldn't activate alarms, which is actually kind of amusing because it wasn't even him, it was Claire. And one other thing, best of all, you can see the action scenes because the stupid cameraman took his meds. Pardon me, I really don't know what came over me there. That was kind of weird. Moving along, all these scenes take place not even 10 minutes in, and I know I'm going to at least enjoy the movie. Now, when I do these reviews, I don't really like giving away the plot because I think it's definitely worth a watch. I think it's definitely worth your time and interest in checking this one out. I mean, yeah, I know a lot of you might not like it, but I think for the most part, if you like heist movies, if you like Ben Affleck, if you like, robbery type kind of action movies, stuff like that, I think you'll like it. As far as the plot goes, I don't want to give away much, but maybe I'll just give away a little bit of what we see in the trailer. And we see that Doug and Claire eventually hook up later on in the movie, which admittingly is pretty silly, but the point is Doug wants to see how much she knows about what happened. By the way, when they kidnap Claire, they put a blindfold on her. They're not really that stupid. So, well, they got the Skeletor mask too. So, eventually the two actually get kind of a thing going on because secretly Doug wants out of the whole bank robbery career, so to speak. And we find more about his personal background, about his parents, and how he got to be in the situation he is now, which, it's a nice backstory. Jim finds out about Claire, and he doesn't like it one bit, mainly because he doesn't want to go back to prison, and because she was the main victim, and that's kind of bad for him, wouldn't it? Yeah. We find out later on he serves 9 years in prison, and actually when the story begins is just after he got out. So he's one of those I'll never go back varieties. So we kind of see maybe foreshadowing there. Wink, wink. Yeah, nice way to turn your life around, buddy. Anyway, the crew of robbers get their quote-unquote assignments from a man known as quote-unquote the florist, who does work in a flower shop. Nice nickname. He serves up one more deal for the crew involving 35 million smackaroos. Admittedly, I'm a little sketchy on the details because I was pretty dead tired, as I said, while I saw this. So, I can't really remember if the florist got any kind of share of the money or what, but basically I guess he was kind of the go-to guy for bank robbers, as he had, a few blueprints of the banks, that were going to get robbed. So I keep replaying in my mind trying to remember what his connection was, and I guess he's just kind of this go-to guy for all, he's basically like some kind of kingpin of crime around there. Where was I going with this? Basically, Doug has to come down to a decision whether he wants to be with Claire and change his life. And by the way, up to this point, he still hasn't mentioned what he did to her or what happened that fateful day. Or if he wants to just take one last job and then take the money and run. as a whole, the movie was really, really enjoyable for me because, not just the action. The action was nice. I mean, it was a lot of good action scenes in it. To fill up that void in my soul for that day. But as far as the action goes, there was a lot of edge of your seat getaways from the bad guys. Well, not the bad guys, the cops. The cops are good, right? Yeah. But oh boy, but the plot and the dialogue, the plot and the dialogue really drive this thing home for me. And it's funny because in the beginning I didn't think I could really get past that typical Boston accent. No offense. And I really doubt I was even close with that. But yeah, just the way everything was meshed together and how the subplots were staged was really well done, I thought. And there's a scene where Jim finds Doug at a picnic table outside a restaurant or a park of some sort, and he finds Doug is out on a date with Claire. Uh-oh. Woo! Total awkwardness ensues. Oh my goodness. That one scene was so awkward. And, I almost felt like burying my head in my hands and going, oh, come on. Will this end already? Because it just seemed like it wouldn't end. It had to have gone on for at least 3 minutes. I mean, it was such an awkward scene. It was just, and it's funny because Doug couldn't even say a word. He was just looking at Jim like, I'm going to kill you after I get home. I thought it was a brilliant scene, but man, was it, oh. And for the most part, Doug and Jim get along, but I guess I would have to say they act more like teammates than brothers, because even if they grew up together, I don't really see the brother figure, because it just doesn't really seem like they like each other that much, but they have each other's backs, that's for sure. I mean, they definitely protect each other. And well, I don't really know what else to add. I thought it was a great movie. Definitely worth watching. And I know I don't mention a lot of, negative criticisms and constructive criticisms or what have you, but honestly, I can't find that many negative things to say about the movie. And if I do, they're very minor. I mean, yeah, some scenes, dragged on a little bit too long. There was a lot of talking at points and not much action. And, the dialogue does get a little kind of cheesy at parts. But, really, that's about it. And when you think about it, that's not that much. I mean, if it was terrible, I'd tell you. And I'd explain why. But I can't really find anything that wrong about this movie. And, I guess when I like a movie, I don't really think about anything else other than how much I liked it, without delving much into the negative aspect. And I thought the scenes were shot really well, and this director of photography definitely gets a passing grade for this one. And maybe it's not necessarily, maybe it's not worth the price of admission to see it at the show. I think it is, but I think you have to kind of want to see it and be interested in heist movies and stuff like that. When I saw the trailer, yeah, I was immediately interested in seeing this movie, and I was like, I'm gonna see this at the show. But I guess it can wait to be rented, but one way or another, it's definitely worth watching. One way or another, definitely worth watching. I thought it was pretty fantastic. And I think that is about all from me. So thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you again, this side or the other.